Welcome to Magic Monday, where we spill the celestial tea on what you can expect from this week's astrology. Good morning, loves. My name is Comet. This is Magic Monday. Welcome to your astrological forecast for the week of February 20th to February 26th, 2023. What is ahead in this week's astrology and how we are going to lean into these themes, opportunities, and challenges in order to live our most magical, our most aligned lives. That is what we are about here on Magic Monday. It's more than just your horoscope. It's how you can co-create with this week's astrology, with the unique clashes and combinations that we are working with. And we gather every single week in my cosmic corner of the internet with a beverage in hand. This week we have a vanilla chai tea with some cinnamon dusted in there to discuss the week ahead astrology. And this is a very powerful, productive week if and only if you do the following. If you can stay grounded within reality, within logic, if you can stay clear-minded through the emotions and through the impulsivity, and if you can stay awake. These are all easier said than done, as it is Pisces season of the fish, which, because this is a sign that has to do with our dream world, we could be feeling more called to want to spend more time in our dream world, whether it's the dreams that we have when we're asleep or the daydreams that we have when we are at our desk and meant to be working. This tends to be a more sleepy, listless, overwhelming energy. Now, there is a bright side, of course. Like, this is a very inspired time. It's a time that we can feel more connected to our intuition, more connected to compassion. But on the flip side, with Pisces season, we all tend to soak up a lot more emotional and energetic data as if by osmosis. And that could be overwhelming when you're processing not only your stuff, but humanity's stuff and the person in front of you at the checkout lines stuff. It could be overwhelming, and there could be a draw or a call to just want to check out altogether, whether it's sleeping extra, drinking more wine, what have you, just being like, shut it off. This is too many emotions. This is too much. But this particular week, I want to let you know that there is a lot of forward momentum building. So I'm not saying don't rest, don't feel. Certainly allow these fluctuations of what comes to the surface this week and every single other week. But I want to let you know there's a lot of fertile foundation as it relates to new initiatives. We have Venus now in Aries, which is a burst of fire in the cosmos, joining Jupiter. So both of the benefics, which are essentially the most positive planets in astrology, are in the sign of Aries. Aries is unapologetic energy. Aries is, I'm gonna do what I want and I don't really care what you have to say about it. Venus in Aries is about being unapologetic about our desires and allowing ourselves to be a little selfish in regards to it. And Venus doesn't particularly like being in Aries, honestly. She is in her detriment in Aries because she rules Aries opposite Libra. And Aries is about the conquest, whereas Venus is more so about magnetizing our desires and our lovers and our money to us, right? Whereas Venus in Aries is like, you want something, go out and get there. It's about being invigorated by the idea of a challenge, the idea of a conquest, right? So with Venus in Aries, we're being a lot more upfront and maybe even more raw and unapologetic about our desires and what it is that we want. And that's compounded by some Mercury aspects this week, which are really like, this is how I feel and I don't really care what you have to say about it. And I love that, and we'll get into the unique opportunities that this blend of energies gives. But I just want you to stay grounded a little bit because with the Pisces sun and then this fiery energy, what happens when you mix water and fire? You get steam, right? So it could be kind of a steamy, explosive week. We could be a little bit more reactive as it relates to our emotions. And because both Venus and Jupiter are answering to Mars, who's answering to Mercury, a lot of our reactions can come through out of our mouth because Mercury is having quite a week this week. So this is a powerful week as it relates to boldly asserting, this is what I want, this is what I'm going after. I'm spilling tea. I'm literally spilling tea and I'm also spilling tea. I know sometimes I make you guys nervous when I'm swinging this thing around. Let's just put this down. So this is a sort of week about being unapologetic in regards to what it is that you want. This is what I want, and I don't really care what you have to say about it, right? This is what I'm inspired by, and I don't care what you have to say about it. This is my dream, right? The Pisces energy. This is what I feel, and I don't really care what you have to say about it or what you have to think about it, right? And so the other kind of burst of newness that we are having this week is we are essentially in a waxing moon week. So at the time of posting this, I have a new Sunday upload date. Let me know if that's still aligning for you guys. But at the time of posting this, until really Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you are located within the world, we're still in this Pisces new moon fertile territory. So make sure to check out the Pisces new moon forecast to get more information about where it's landing within your chart and the opportunities that it's giving to really anchor in your dreams into something real, into something tangible. And then as we look up at the sky every single week, we'll see that the moon will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is a moon phase. Essentially, the waxing energy is about putting energy towards what it is that we want to grow and what it is that we want to expand within our world, because the moon is essentially helping us in allowing those initiatives, those ideas, those desires to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So there are these celestial blessings this week if you wanted to take advantage of them, even though, the Pisces energy will probably be whispering in your ear to being like, just avoid it all, just sleep, just do your own thing. And again, there is a huge focus this week on doing your own thing, march to the beat of your own drum. So if you want to utilize this week's astrology in that way, no worries at all. I know that Pisces call can be so intense sometimes. I'm a Pisces, I battle it every day. But when it comes to, if you have this desire within you where you're like, oh, I really want to work on this project, I really want to write this song, I really want to release this poetry, whatever it is, I want you to use this fertile energy of this week, okay? There's a lot of cosmic forces that are aligning to make this a very productive, powerful week if we choose to be present enough to show up for it. So firstly, before we dive in, I just want to give a thank you to Soulflow, who sent me this amazing cup. I love it so much. I'm really feeling into this Pisces energy. My fellow fish, how we feeling? How we swimming? How's our waters during our season? Mine's not so good, but we're in this together. We're a school of fish swimming through this world. Before we dive in, I just want to make a quick announcement. There is never any pressure. By watching, you are supporting the channel, you are supporting me, you are supporting Magic Monday. I'm so grateful for you. I do want to just highlight, I do have some membership options on my channel. You can check them out in the join button as well as in the description. I make a little digital astrology Notion template for you every single month where I write down co-creative opportunities of every aspect that we're having. So you basically get the Magic Monday insights ahead of time and in a written format, as well as I have like a little printable calendar that I make for you at a different tier as well. So any of those options I so deeply appreciate, and it's a great time to jump in at the end of the month so you can get all of March's assets, because when I say March's astrology is going to shake up our world as we know it, I am not lying. So let's go ahead and take it into Vibe Check of the Week. Okay, so if you are new here, in Vibe Check of the Week, we essentially liken all of these astrological influences, so Mercury trine Mars, Mercury square Uranus, and we liken it to a real life situation, so that even if you don't know the intricacies around, wait, what does Uranus rule again? Or like, wait, what's a square? You can begin to tune into a real life scenario that helps you understand how these energies will come to the surface. This week's Vibe Check, and pardon my language, but this week's Vibe Check is in F you. I'm going to do and say whatever I want. You do not own me. I have my own thoughts. I have my own opinions. I have my own words. You can't control me. You can't tell me what to say. Okay, do you have that vibe? I'm going to liken it to a real life scenario to kind of give it a little bit more texture, but get that energetic in your mind around, I am my own person. This is not cool with me. I'm going to speak my mind whether you like it or not. That is really the resounding vibe of this week. So let's say, come with me on a journey, because this one's a little out there and you might not relate within your life, but perhaps you've seen this sort of energy in a movie or TV show. Let's say you are a fashion influencer and you're particularly passionate about sustainability. You are a sustainable fashion influencer. You have all these cute looks. You post them on the gram, you post them on YouTube, you post them on TikTok, and you're very passionate about, telling people about the dangers of fast fashion and things of that nature. And it's something that you are very forward about. So imagine your glee when you get an invitation to speak on this panel about sustainability and fashion, and you are so excited. You're very knowledgeable in this topic. You are excited that more people are being interested in this topic, and you are just ready to go. You have a little bit of a side eye when you realize it's being sponsored by a clothing company, by a brand who has not had great practices in the past, but within their brand deck, you see that they have shifted things, they've shifted their location, and that they are having this panel to take them in a new direction that is more sustainable. And guys, bear with me, I know this one's kind of convoluted. So you're just about to go on stage for this panel and you get taken aside by a PR rep and they say, hey, make sure to talk about our brand, okay, and give your official A-okay to it. And if someone asks you where our warehouses are, say they're here and not where they actually are. Like essentially feeding you things to say, and you realize with your heart sinking, you're like, oh, they're actually not interested in going green or being more sustainable after all. They just want to make it look like they do. And they're trying to get me to be the mouthpiece for their lies. And you're feeling pressure because as you go on the panel, you see the CEOs, the execs, the PR people all sitting there. They've paid for you to be at this panel, right? They've been overly accommodating, giving you all this food. Maybe they paid for your hotel stay, all of these things. And they're all looking at you, right? When someone raises their hand during the Q&A portion and asks, what about the sustainability practices of this clothing company? And you're seeing the people in the front row looking at you, ready to deliver the lines that they spoon-fed you about where it is that they manufacture, which is a lie, about the practices that they have, which is not the case, but everything that they told you to recite, just looking at you like, okay, you got this. And the lights are in your face. I want you to think your heart is beating, beating, beating. You're sweating. You're sweating. A lot of lights, a lot of cameras. Someone's streaming. Someone's streaming live. You've been asked point blank. They've addressed you by name. What do you think about the practices of the clothing brand who sponsored this event? And you take a deep breath. And you choose to basically say, F this entire front row. I mean, maybe not that word, but you're like, actually, it's horrible. And they actually told me to lie about where it is that they do. And they don't care about sustainability. And I don't care if they revoke my money or what have you, but you guys need to know this. Everybody needs to know this. I can't in good conscience sleep at night while knowing that I perpetuated this lie of something that is against my own ethical standards. F that. That is the vibe this week. And maybe you're not a sustainable fashion influencer. I know that one's a little out there. Maybe you're not a sustainable fashion influencer going to some panel on sustainability. Maybe that's not you, but maybe you caught something at work that your manager is like, you didn't see that, don't tell my supervisor, when that is not cool with your ethics standards. Maybe a friend of yours makes a horrible comment in front of you and you have to just like check them and be like, where did that come from? Like, that is not okay. That is not cool with me. There is this vibe this week around advocating for ourselves with our words and sort of breaking out of convention around what would be the normal thing to say, or what would it be to say something that fits in a nice little box, right? Like that PR rep in the vibe check so wanted you to say, oh, this clothing brand is great and they're sustainable, when that is not the truth. It goes against your code of ethics. So there is this vibe this week around sticking up for yourself, around calling out when things are not okay, even if it would be easier to go with the flow, right? And again, the Pisces sun so deeply wants to go with the flow. With this Mercury energy and with Venus in Aries, it's this energy being like, okay, Pisces sun, I see you, I know you want to go with the flow, but we're feeling things so deeply that you realize I cannot in good conscience go here, be this mouthpiece, whether it's for this brand, or let my friend say that horrible comment in front of me, or let my manager get away with this. It would be easier if I did, maybe, but then I would have to live with myself, and it doesn't agree with my ethics, and it doesn't agree with where it is that I stand on this situation. I need to say something. I need to speak out. That is the vibe this week, because we have Mercury squaring Uranus, which is the vibe around the normal thing to do would be this, but I'm going to go a different way. And again, with Mercury in Aquarius, like really wanting to speak out around what is true and real for ourselves and our lives. And we also have Mercury trine Mars, which is the vibe around using our voice to advocate for ourselves, or using our voice to advocate for our beliefs or anything of that nature. So there's a lot more to this week. We'll chat about it as we go into our day-by-day breakdown. I just want to give a reminder that all timestamps are available below. If you want to jump to a particular day, go back to a particular day. And if I mention a time, it is GMT -8. So make sure to adjust to your time zone before putting it into your planner. So good morning. Welcome to your Monday, February 20th forecast. I want to let you know that if you are on the East Coast, or really anywhere more Eastern, the Pisces new moon, as well as Venus ingressing into Aries, technically occurs on February 20th. So today, Monday. I did talk about it a bit last week because I am on the West Coast, so it happened late Sunday night if you're on the West Coast like me, or anywhere more west than that. So either way, wherever it is that you are, both of these influences are still very much active on Monday. So with this Pisces new moon, this is essentially a blank slate, new start to anchor down our ideas and our visions and what it is that we want. Now, I say this idea of anchor because it's tethered by Saturn. There is certain energy during this new moon. And it's kind of funny, this new moon, because Saturn's not in Pisces yet. That's on the horizon. But it's almost just like creeping on Pisces territory, like being like, I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there. So this Pisces new moon is very powerful to decide how it is that you want to live in accordance with that Saturnian energy. And this sort of works into the vibe check because it's almost that energy. Like, it could be a lot when you're on the spot. There's a lot of pressure. A lot of people want something from you or want you to say something particularly. And you just know that with time, you would not feel good about it. Like, the energy of essentially this new moon on Saturn is how is it that I'm going to lean into this Saturn? Saturn is the planet of karma. So if you know that, standing on stage of that panel or witnessing somebody do something bad at work, like if you know that karma could bite you in the butt, like if, someone finds out that you had seen your manager doing that and didn't say anything, even though it was negatively affecting your employees, if that clip of you saying, this clothing brand is great, goes viral and everybody's like, what does this person know about sustainability? Like, the energy of Saturn is to essentially not live in fear. That's not what I'm saying, but to understand that really our reputation, our integrity is really all that we have, and it can be gone in an instant. So maybe it's not as specific as the situation that I had just likened you to, but when we have this sort of Saturnian new moon, it's like, okay, how am I going to really be proud of the seeds that I'm planting right now? How am I going to work with Saturn to be accountable, to level up every aspect of my life, rather than to just like do shady stuff and hope nobody finds out? Like, I'm just saying, particularly if you have mutable placements, my Geminis, Virgos, Sagittarians, and Pisces, start living your life through the lens around, if everybody knew that I was doing this right now, would I still do this? Or if everybody heard me say this, would I still say this? Because Saturn is like a boomerang. It's a slow boomerang, but it's a boomerang in terms of karma and what it is that we put out there. So it's not that I want you to live in fear of this new moon, but there's this energy to positively anchor in this energy of Saturn around, what is my integrity? What do I stand for? What do I want to build with my test of time? How am I supporting longevity within my world? How am I supporting sustainability within my world? And yes, maybe to a literal level, like on the vibe check, like sustainable that way, but also sustainably building your business, sustainably building your relationship, ensuring that these things are built on a solid foundation that don't have cracks, because there can be just little pieces and little decisions that we make. Oh, that one white lie about that clothing brand won't come back to haunt me. Oh, that one comment that my friend made isn't so bad. They didn't mean it. I know they're not really like that. Like, those little things can catch up and they can snowball and be a big thing. And I don't want you to live with fear. It's not what I'm saying. But I just want you to realize that when it comes to our integrity, what it is that we stand on, the foundation that we stand on, like, it's just important to be discerning. And this new moon is a really positive time to be like, okay, what am I building that's going to stand the test of time? How am I supporting longevity and sustainability within my world? And how am I going to co-create with Saturn, right? To build something strong and lasting and durable, where even if something comes out, I can stand by what it is that I said. I can stand by who it is that I I can stand by my ethics of the situation. So that is a lunation that, again, will be active for 3 days after it exacts. So it technically exacted for me because I'm on the West Coast last night at 11:06 p.m. PST. So you still have that new moon energy to work with. And again, think Saturn, think long term. And of course, check out the video to get more context on that. And I'd also recommend checking out the Saturn and Pisces transit video to get more context on where it is that you'll be doing the work throughout this time. And luckily, in the nick of time, we have this like fiery energy that kind of allows us to feel invigorated going for it, right? Like with Venus and Aries, this is, I mean, forgive me for kind of swearing this Magic Monday, which I don't typically, blame it on the Aries energy, but seriously, it is DGAF energy. It is truly not caring. It is doing your own thing and being like, I don't care. That is on you. At the end of the day, you know, Aries is a sign of self, okay? And at the end of the day, this is your life to live. The consequences are yours alone, right? Like if something were to come out that would harm your career or something of that nature, like that's something you need to deal with, right? That brand won't be there to help you figure out how to save your fashion sustainability influencer career. Like at the end of the day, it's on you. And with Venus and Aries is like, I know you paid for me to be at this panel, but no. You walked me into this horrible trap and I'm going to do what's best for me. And I think this is just top of mind. Keep in mind, I'm not very sporty. Not very sporty at all, but I did watch the Super Bowl, or at least the Rihanna portion. I just feel like Rihanna just embodies this Venus Aries energy so well. I mean, she was in all red. She has Aries stellium. She's a Pisces sun. So I just think this astrology was just reminding me of her, where it was just like, this is my performance. I'm going to do what it is that I want. I am enough. I love that she didn't have any special guests besides her makeup brand and her forthcoming baby. Like, kind of iconic, honestly. But like with the energy of Aries, it's like, I am enough. I'm going to advocate for myself because I am enough. And at the end of the day, this is my life to live. And I don't care if you feel like I didn't do enough. I don't care if you feel like it wasn't as much as you wanted to do. I did what it was that I'm here to do. I said what it is that I believed in. That's that. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but I want to go into deeper context that Venus isn't too happy in Aries. You know, when it comes to our love relationships, we certainly could be invigorating some of this Aries energy, which yes, can be sort of like spicy or sort of hot. You know, with Aries, it's like the banter energy. It's like kind of chasing over your partner a little bit, or like flirting with them a little extra. It's like challenging them to a game of pool and like getting really, really competitive. Whatever it is with Venus and Aries, it's like infusing this Mars-like energy, right? It's Mars ruled Venus, infusing this Mars-like energy into our love life, which yes, can be very steamy, but also sometimes can go beyond. Like if you've ever, you know, challenged someone to a competition, then got salty when they won. Like that's sort of the Venus Aries vibe. It's being kind of competitive with our lover, as well as if you're not in a relationship with Venus and Aries, it's sort of like shoot your shot energy. We could be more invigorated by a challenge, by a chase, right? With Venus and Pisces, we wanted the dream. And with Venus and Aries, like we want the chase. We want to get what it is that we want. We want to be forward about our desires. Now, it's not a super seamless fit just because Aries is direct, right? Aries as an archetype isn't necessarily as interested in social niceties or pleasantries. It's just sign of self. So it's like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to say what I want. And with Venus, you know, in Aries, we're less likely to want to play nice with others. We're like, why would I play nice? Like, yeah, I could create harmony at this event with all of these business execs sitting here and that PR exec sitting there. But F that. Like harmony and being pleasant isn't worth, you know, me being not true to myself, right? And just with Venus in the sign of Aries, it's so funny just because Venus is about money, it's about beauty, it's about pleasure, and Aries is about being very forward about those things, being very proactive. So like I said, it helps this week when it comes to going after our desires and being unapologetic about our desires. It's so fascinating. I've been observing this with my clients lately. I like ask them, what do you want? Or like, what do you want to do with this transit? Because I think it's very powerful when we vocalize what it is that we're kind of like solidifying with these cosmic energies. And so many people are like almost ashamed. And this Venus and Aries energy is like, do not be ashamed of your desires. Both of the benefics are in Aries. Like the only limits to this transit are your own courage. Truly, this situation and the circumstances are aligned for taking action, for having initiative to go after who it is that you want, what it is that you want, the deals that you want. Like Venus and Aries is very much the energy, like if you were going back and forth with the panel before you went, and they offered you a number and you're like, triple it. it. And I don't care if that's rude. I don't care if you think that that's too much. If you think I'm full of it, I don't care. Triple it. I know my worth. So even though Venus isn't too happy in Aries, I kind of love it. I'm kind of really here for it. I think we need some more fire in the cosmos to get us out of our head with Mercury and Mars in air signs, Aquarius and Gemini respectively, Sun in Pisces, right? Moon in Pisces as well on Monday, 2 water signs. So I just think we needed some more fire in our lives and in the cosmos, because fire is bold, it's brash, it's warm, it just is what it is. Can it get out of control? Can it be a wildfire? Is there going to be some backlash after you speak your mind at that panel? Yeah. But so what? No, just kidding. But anyways, we'll chat more about that. But I just want to let you know those two shifts happened either late Sunday if you are PST like me, or early Monday if you are elsewhere in the world. Also on Monday, we have Mercury in Aquarius sextile Chiron in Aries. A reminder that words and language can be healing. It does exact around 9 a.m. PST. So on Monday, we have Mercury in Aquarius sextile Chiron in Aries, which is this vibe around understanding how healing words can be. So I will say this exacts at 8:59 a.m. PST. So I will say, if possible in the morning time, if you want to just have a journal session, and I just want you to like brain dump. Like again, we have this Pisces new moon. So if you're listening to this on Monday morning, or maybe even Sunday night, like I would really encourage you, have a brain dump, like allow it to be healing, to really put words to all of your swirling emotions. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of them. It's Pisces season after all. And with Mercury sextile Chiron, it could be very helpful for a healing conversation if you want to call up a friend and just feel that energy around feeling how good it feels to feel understood, to feel heard, or allowing yourself to kind of brain dump in a journal. And I also want to say there also feels to be this relinquishing of a battle. If there have been certain times when you feel like you don't talk like other people, you don't think like other people, and you've been trying to mold and adjust to them, it's almost this energy around, I don't think like you and I don't talk like you, and that is my superpower. That is my superpower. I don't need to think and talk like you. Maybe some of you feel this at work when you're like, I don't really use the language that they use. I don't really use the jargon that they do. And with Mercury and Aquarius, like understanding we are free thinkers. We have agency of our own minds and of our own voices. Like that is the vibe this week around understanding the power that your voice has in your unique way, right? And not feeling like you need to talk like everybody else on the panel to be respected as a sustainability influencer, anything of that nature. Understanding the magic and the authenticity that comes through in communicating the way that you do. It's almost like the energy, you know, like after a long day of being in a professional environment and you get to come home, like whether it's to your roommates or to your partner, and be like, you would never believe what happened. You get to like talk like normal, right? It can feel so healing, right? To like let those defenses down. And this energy makes me think of this. I get so many comments all the time of people like, stop calling me love. Why do you say love 10,000 times? Why do you keep calling me my love? And it's like, firstly, that's just literally how I talk. Secondly, look at my sweatshirt. I've got all of these hearts. I just have so much love to give. I'm just here giving you love. But like literally, I talk to you guys like I would talk to my friends if we were chilling in my living room. For some reason, every time people come over, we just chill in the living room. We always try to go out to dinner, but like something about my living room, we just get stuck there. I don't know what it is. But anyways, if we were in the living room, I would call you my love a gazillion times. It's how I talk. It's how I talk. And there is something powerful that happens when we aren't scripting and filtering ourselves. And like I said, this is sort of weak. Not everything will come out great. Like at the panel, you could have some words that you're like, ooh, that wasn't great, especially with Mercury squaring Uranus. We'll talk about that in a moment. Sometimes when we don't filter ourselves, there could be moments where it's like, ooh, that didn't come out great. Ooh, that wasn't exactly how I wanted to do. But there also could be moments of genius, and there's moments of authenticity within it. So, you know, obviously there's a time and a place as it relates to communication, and I'll try to tame down my loves. But, you know, it's Pisces season. I've got my heart sweatshirt on. I'm just full of love, and I'm going to let you know. And then also on Monday, we have the Pisces moon sextile in Uranus and Taurus. So great day to be open to magic and to be open to miracles, literally. Like that would be an affirmation I would dial in today. Like I am open to the unexpected magic to come my way. I am open to the universe meeting me in unexpected ways that I could have never even imagined. Like affirmation, I am open to miracles. And like those miracles can come through in really unexpected ways. Your coworker bringing in donuts when you forgot your lunch, right? Your friend offering you tickets to that concert that you've so been wanting to go, or your tax return coming early and then you're able to buy yourself a nice meal tonight. Like little micro miracles, and be grateful for them, and expect and be open to the universe and to source energy meeting you in unexpected ways. Like, we're still in this Pisces new moon energy. So as you plant down your intentions, be like, this or better. Like, universe, source, you know my soul, you know my gifts, you know my abilities even more than I do. This or something better. I'm going to co-create and meet that halfway. I will say in the nighttime, there could be some squabbles or frustration or just overwhelm. Like, that's why I'm saying this week is powerful if we can like stay clear-minded through our emotions, because the Pisces moon squares Mars and Gemini. You might be feeling a little overwhelmed, a little burnt out, maybe just like emotionally overwhelmed, overstimulated, headache, drained, maybe you just took on a lot of people's energy at work. And with moon square Mars, remember not to take it out on the people dear to you. And we also can be a little bit more emotionally reactive. Like, remember, when the moon's in Pisces, we're more emotional, we're more subject to the waves of everything, right? With moon squaring Mars, there might be that final thing that kind of sets us off, like just that final thing that makes us so frustrated, and maybe we sort of lash out or feel really emotional about it. And again, it can be very helpful this Pisces season to just distinguish which of these emotions are mine and which are not mine. And again, baths are helpful during Pisces season, even just showers, just using water to just cleanse yourself from situations. Because if you're more irritable and you're more angry, like maybe were you around angry, irritable customers all day? Like, I'm telling you, some of you are listening to this and be like, this is a little out there, but with Pisces season, we are soaking in our situations like osmosis. So with that, as you recognize and understand your emotions, take accountability and take time to kind of journal on which are yours, right? What's making you sad within your universe, but also observe, where are you taking stuff on for other people, or where is there like mood transference or anything of that nature, and separate when appropriate and when able. On Tuesday, the 21st, listen, you didn't hear from me, okay? Don't show this to your boss. You did not hear this from me. But Tuesday would be a great day to play hooky or to not work or something of that nature, just because, and here's why. With Mercury square Uranus, there is this vibe. There's this rebellious vibe where it's like, you can't tell me what to do. You don't own me. I'm my own person. So maybe you're not feeling like you're feeling pressured by this clothing brand to be their, mouthpiece on their fake, sustainability practices. But maybe you're feeling it at work. Like, there is this vibe where you are just expected to be a cog in the machine or say exactly what they expect you to do, even if it disagrees with your ethics. Maybe there is something where you've been voicing, I need more support on this project. I need more support on this project. And they're like, no, no, no. Maybe like one of your supervisors cut out a part of your piece that you loved. And with Mercury square Uranus, there's almost this rebellious energy will be like, well, I'm going to do what I want. So you did not hear this from me. But with Mercury square Uranus, it is kind of a day that it feels like we're going to be a little bit more rebellious, being like, you don't like my piece? I don't like working today. I'm going to go to the beach and just have Google Docs open on my phone and press in certain things. And I will say, at work, you can find that you're a little bit more snappy or a little bit more reactive or more likely to say exactly how you feel, even if it's not the appropriate thing to say, right? With Mercury square Uranus, like mentally, we can be feeling kind of restless and impulsive and rebellious. So again, you can rebel in big ways, whether it's like playing hooky or whether it's, advocating for that piece to be back in what you've been working on, or sticking up for your coworker if you feel like something shady is being done to her. So you can either rebel in big ways by like not going to work, or you can rebel even in little ways, like those little victories where it's like maybe someone that you work with was telling you that your font size isn't professional, and then you CC someone that they work with and you get approval on your font size, and you're like, take that. Why were you micromanaging the font size I use in my emails anyway? Like, with Mercury square Uranus, there is this desire to want to rebel, and like small victories, right? Like those little victories, right? Those little rebellions where you feel like in some way you're sticking it to the man or anything of the nature. And like, with Mercury squaring Uranus, maybe it's not a panel. That was a little out there in terms of a vibe check, but maybe it's not a panel. But have you noticed certain scenarios where you feel like you're being told what to think, what to say? And it's like with Mercury square Uranus, it's like reclaiming our sovereignty, reclaiming our ability to think our own thoughts and say what it is that is resonant and true for us and that aligns with our ethics. And so with Mercury square Uranus, notice where it is that you feel like you are being put into a box, whether it's through your creativity, if you're a writer or something of that nature, whether it's through your mind, like an employer or someone in your life is trying to tell you what to think. If online, there's like an online friend who always uses language that you find very offensive and thinks that you're going to go along with it. With Mercury square Uranus, it's like reminding yourself and reclaiming that sovereignty around, I have my own mind, I have my own opinions, and I'm going to let you know. That is really the energy. Like with the square to Uranus, maybe it would be easier to go with the flow. Maybe it would be easier to keep our mouths shut. But with Mercury square Uranus, it's like, I don't have this mind and this ideas and this words to not use it. Okay, so you are going to know exactly how I feel about this. So do be mindful, downsides of Mercury square Uranus, we can be feeling more restless. We can be feeling more impulsive and erratic as it relates to our language. We can be a little bit more out there as it relates to our, conversations or communication. But the other reason why I would advise, if possible, maybe not work as much if you do schedule yourself or you're able to, is because we have Moon on Neptune. So we have like this direct landline essentially to source universal energy. So this is a really great time to be open to it, right? To allow visions to come through, ideas to come through. Again, waxing moon now. The moon is now waxing, it's building with Moon, Neptune. You can get a lot of clarity and a lot of certainty, or even just like tapping into what it is that you want to call this thing that's coming through you, if it's a project, if it's a course, if it's a book, whatever it is. Like with Moon, Neptune, clear your mind. Again, it's a very busy mental week, especially with Tuesday with Mercury square Uranus. Our mind can feel all over the place. Take some time for stillness. Seriously, go in nature, take some time to meditate, take some time to pray, whatever you are into. I'm telling you, you have this landline of all sorts of intuitive hits and ideas and envisions of really being able to tap into what comes next, what you're going to use this forward momentum for. And with Moon, Neptune, we're more sensitive. So, that coworker telling us your font size isn't right, most of the time we could usually be like, you're crazy. What are you talking about? But this is sort of energy where we're like, like just feeling a little bit more dejected. Like with energy of Neptune, we can be a little bit more sensitive to the emotions of those around us. So at work, if you have to interact with someone who's a little bit more down, like you could kind of take on some of their stuff. So just a really important day to kind of protect your boundaries, be in situations and around places that are peaceful and rejuvenating, and carve some time to connect with spirit, to connect with source energy, to get some clues or to get some inspiration or some insights around what comes next. What are you going to use this forward momentum to build within your world, and how are you going to build the right dreams, right? Like how are you going to, with this Pisces sun and like with Venus Aries, like at the end of the day, these dreams are yours to fulfill. At the end of the day, your life is not for those around you. Your life is not for that clothing brand. Your life is not for what your intimate people want you to do with your career. Your life is not for, the people who want to control how your art shows up or anything of that nature. At the end of the day, your life is yours, and that can feel overwhelming or that can feel empowering. And this week, it's really important to try, if possible, to feel empowered by that, to understand, okay, these dreams, these visions that are coming through. I talked about this, I think in like the third house piece of the Pisces new moon video, but I'm just going to repeat it here. In the book, Big Magic, she talks about ideas being like these floaty butterflies that essentially kind of like pick us, right? And if an idea picks you, it means that you have the capacity, the bandwidth, and the ability to fulfill it. But oftentimes we doubt it, right? We think, could I even? Is it possible? And like when you doubt it, when you doubt these ideas, you are literally doubting God. You are doubting universe. You are doubting source energy, whatever it is that you like to call it. This idea picked you. It knew you could do it. So when you doubt, is this a good idea? Going back and forth with it, you're literally doubting the universe's wisdom and ability to like choose you as a conduit. I know, well, out there, it's Pisces season, let me be a little woo-woo, but truly, and with the energy of this, like of ideas being butterflies, in Big Magic, she talks about how they can pick somebody else. Like these ideas want to be incarnated here on planet Earth. So it's like, if you don't act on it, if you doubt it, if you have so much self-doubt around, can I do it, can I not? It will go to somebody else. And have you ever experienced that where like someone comes out with something or has something of an idea that you had and you're like, why didn't I take action on it? I doubted myself. I thought people would think I was weird. And this is sort of the vibe where it's like, who at the end of my life, at the end of the day, has to live with the decisions that I make and the dreams that I make happen. I do. So I owe it to myself to bring these visions into reality. So I do think Venus in Aries is helpful in that regard of being able to kind of take these visions and like move towards them with fearlessness and to kind of advocate for ourselves within it and to understand it's up to me to make these dreams happen. So all I'm saying is on Tuesday, really aligned day to kind of tune in, to get clarity on the vision or what comes next. Because I'm telling you, sometimes when you drop into meditation, you can see things or get ideas or even just like journaling and like allowing it to come through. Like all I'm saying is carve some time, because you'll be shocked at the amount of information that can come through during Moon Neptune transits particularly. That evening, the moon sextiles Pluto, which again is remembering our power. You have the power to bring this vision to reality. Don't suffocate the vision by feeling like it needs to be done all in one day, right? Venus and Aries can be a little impatient. We can be a little frustrated this week around how long things take, right? And so with this energy, it's realizing you have the power to make this happen, truly. It's kind of funny seeing the Pisces, clients, as well as just the Pisces energy within the sky, because Pisces is being asked to boss up. Like literally with the energy of Pisces, like all fish are essentially being asked to really be responsible and really use accountability and use structure in order to take their dreams and make it reality, turn it into structure, turn it into something real. And that can be uncomfortable. There could be this energy around going back and forth and being like, can I do this? Am I capable of this? I have this really big idea for this big project that could change a lot of lives. Could I be that? Anchored to that idea. This idea was picked for me. I was chosen to facilitate this. I owe it to myself to make this happen. That night, the moon enters Aries at 9:04, which is a burst of fiery energy supporting advocacy, initiation. And because Venus is now newly in Aries, the moon does meet up with Venus, technically exacts early Wednesday, like really around 1:30 a.m. on Wednesday, but I just want to share for my fellow West Coast peeps, we might feel this a little bit on Tuesday night. So would be an aligned time for a spontaneous or a playful date with a loved one or something of that nature. On Wednesday, the 22nd, the banter is real. I mean, the moon meets up with Venus, it meets up with Jupiter, it meets up with Chiron. And again, this is fiery, passionate energy. And it's like almost this energy with the moon to Chiron. It's like embracing our flaws and being like, yeah, and what about it? Like literally, what about it? It's almost like, let's take it back to the weird vibe check. Like at that vibe check, if afterward the PR exec was like, what are you doing? Like, why would you think that's okay? You only have this many followers, like trying to demean you, and like you coming back with like, yeah, so so it's almost this energy. I just want you to observe of where it is that people try to put you in your place or knock you down. And it's almost this energy around embracing your flaws and be like, and what about it? And what about it? Yeah, I say love. And what about it? So I would challenge you with what comes to the surface. Sometimes with Moon Chiron, there can be certain wounds or certain insecurities that are brought to you. But I would really advise with this Aries energy, fire is very purifying, right? Like we can use fire to purify water. It burns away bacteria. Like it's this energy around burning away. So seeing where it is that you can burn away some of those emotions or some of that, scar tissue around, maybe you've always have felt insecure about something. And with the Moon Chiron, see what it feels like to be like, and yeah, what about it? If someone points it out, if someone says at the presentation that you talk weird or your accent's weird, yeah, what about it? And just be like, yeah, what about it? Sometimes it's fun when someone is being rude to just kind of have that energy around, yeah, what about it? To really make them say it. Like I've noticed this is amazing if you ever are in a situation where you've had to deal with harassment in the workplace. I feel for you. I'm so sorry. But it can be very powerful with Moon Chiron to like really make that individual spell out what it is that they are trying to say. I feel like so often we feel like we have to like giggle and smile and like brush it off, be like, hee, whatever. But I really love being like, oh, what do you mean by that? And like making them expand, keeping them in that uncomfortable moment around, what do you mean by that when you say that you love when I wear skirts to the office? What do you mean by that? Like making them say it and being like, what about it? Like observing where it is that people are trying to make you small and being like, yeah, what about it? Like, the downside with Aries energy is that we could be a little bit too on the aggressive, but this is sort of weak where it's like, notice where people are trying to keep you small and have that energy around, yeah, what about it? If someone tries to insult you or insult your car, I remember it's a wild story. It is a wild story and I don't think I have time to get into it here, but one time I had an online friend come out and stay with me for a little bit, and lesson learned to not do that. But anyways, I'll never forget, she insulted my car, and I don't drive a nice car, and I don't care. I love my car. I don't have a huge car payment. It's an old car. She works great. She's reliable. I love my car. And she was saying that I had a bad car, whatever. And I was like, yeah, what about it? I'm sensible and smart with my money. Yeah, what about it? Like, observe where it is that people are trying to make you small. Like, I think she was trying to say, you know, your business must not be going that well or what have you if you're driving this car. And it's like, yeah, what about it? I'm sensible. I don't want a huge car payment. Like, what about it? What are you trying to say? Say what it is that you're trying to say, because you're not going to make me feel insecure. Like, just observe where people try to knock you down a peg, keep you small, and really flip it around, yeah, what about it? So that would be one little piece that I would anchor in. And I'd also say there is kind of like a flirty, bantery vibe. Like, I don't think you'll be fighting with everybody on Wednesday. That's not what I mean. But just observing if there are certain comments that people say that you are seeing, like you're really seeing, like, oh, they're trying to make me uncomfortable. They're trying to keep me small. And like seeing if you can embrace and sort of like have a little mirror, reflect back. Yeah, what about it? Like, what are you really saying here? Because I see what it is that you're saying. With Mercury trine Mars, we can be a little bit more, assertive with our language. Not a bad thing. With Mercury trine Mars, it's a great time to assert yourself, to advocate for yourself. Honestly, I don't think there'll be a lot of fighting. Like, I would say that if it was a square, but this is a trine. So people might be like kind of like working together on this. So this can be really aligned with working together with a project, maybe putting some energy towards a mental project that you've been working on. Great writing day, honestly, using this fiery, passionate Aries energy and Mercury trine Mars to like really put energy behind your words, as well as there are certain boundaries or something that's not okay. With Mercury trine Mars, it's like, no, I'm going to stand up for what it is that I think. I'm going to stand up for my viewpoint and my perspective on the matter, right? And overall, there are good vibes with the moon meeting up with Venus and Jupiter. Take a chance. It could work out. Be bold. Be who it is that you are. Express yourself openly. You're more in the mood to tune into the beauty around you, the enjoyment around you, as well as just like anchoring into, I am worthy of the life that I desire, right? Maybe it's not someone else who's trying to keep you small via like comments. Maybe it's like the world at large making you feel small. And there's almost this energy on Wednesday where it's like, no, I'm worthy of having what it is that I want, and I'm going to speak up for myself. I'm going to speak what it is that I want, or pitch my little pitch, or shoot my shot, go after what it is that I want, because I am worthy of it. There is some fiery energy as it relates to our emotions this week, wanting to act on our emotions. And again, with Mercury trine Mars, we're in the mood to advocate for what it is that we believe and say what it is that we want, as well as using our words to get what it is that we want. So for any of you who've been waiting to like slide into the DMs of someone that you want to collaborate with, or applying for a job would be really great with that Mercury Mars, like advocating for yourself via your language, via reaching out. Hey, do you know of any opportunities? Like, again, I know putting ourselves out there sometimes can make us feel quite uncomfortable, but just understanding the cosmos are supporting us. And with Jupiter and Aries, the vibe is fortune favors the bold. Okay, fortune favors the bold. You're gonna have to be bold during this time. You're gonna have to be more assertive with this Aries energy. But what if everything that you wanted was on the other side of your fears? And a lot of times the fears are just being like, hi, do you want to collaborate? Or hi, do you have any opportunities for me? Or do you know of any opportunities for me? So again, being a little bit more bold as it relates to our voice and our language. Thursday is a very productive day. The Aries moon sextiles Mercury and then sextiles Saturn. So the Aries moon kind of temper is sort of being calmed down by logical Mercury and serious Saturn, where it's really allowing us to have more focus on what it is that we're working with. It's very helpful for getting in the zone. And I will just say that evening there can be some power plays or attempted power plays just with the Aries moon squaring with Pluto. So just being mindful around the Aries moon, we could be a little bit more impatient. And with the square to Pluto, we could just be feeling frustrated by how long things are taking, or just feeling more frustrated at the world or the powers that be in general. But just remember, like this week and really every week, it's really important to be mindful of energy transference. Like, for example, let's say you're frustrated about something and then you take that energy home and you like lash out on your partner. They didn't do anything, right? But you were just frustrated. That was like the final tipping point, right? And so during Pisces season, it's really important to, be accountable about your energy and have those little rituals, whether it's like spraying yourself after work or breathing or journaling or things that you're able to sort of quantify where you're feeling what, so you're not taking on other people's stuff, like, and just having that extra level of awareness around, let's say you're not, you're there for your friend's breakup, you're on the phone, and after you hang up, like an hour later, you're crying and you don't think of that breakup right away, but you're like, oh my gosh, that kind of brought my mood down. Like there's almost this energy where during Pisces season, we're being asked to be a little bit more responsible about our energetic and emotional maintenance. And again, it's not that you shouldn't feel, it's not that you shouldn't be there for your friend if she goes through the breakup, nothing of that sort, but essentially just being aware. Being aware can be very powerful, and understanding, okay, this is not mine, or understanding, hey, I need to like ground down. I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling overstimulated, and I don't want to lash out or be rude to someone who doesn't, deserve this. Because like I said, a lot of snappy mental energy, which is powerful if you need to stand up for yourself, if you need to, put somebody in your place or advocate for yourself in a new opportunity, but not so great when it relates to your interpersonal connections who are like, what do you mean I just asked if you wanted dinner and you got mad at me? Like, what? On Friday the 24th, the moon enters Taurus shortly after midnight, which is the sign of the moon's exaltation. It's super cozy in Taurus, so thus we are in the mood to get super cozy. We're in the mood to enjoy life. We're in the mood to enjoy our Friday. We're in the mood to find magic and synchronicity everywhere, right? It is Pisces season after all. And we're in the mood to make things happen. Like this is the official waxing crescent moon, Pisces sun sextile the Taurus moon. And we are in the mood to take those dreams, take those visions of Pisces sun, and like the Taurus moon is in the mood to sustainably ground them down, make them happen. Patience is a virtue this week. With all this Aries energy, we could be feeling impatient. Like I said, we could be feeling more reactive, so important to mind our impulses this week. But again, good things come to those who wait, good things come to those who build. And with the Pisces new moon, the most favorable intentions are those that favor longevity, sustainability, right? Not overnight success, sustainability that is earned, not blowing up on something that doesn't align with your integrity, right? It's essentially slow and steady growth as a result of putting the work in, of knowing that you're worthy of putting the work in. And honestly, with the Taurus moon, resting when the day is done, like not overworking yourself, like allowing yourself. That's what I love about Taurus energy. And I'm so sorry if I go on this rant so often, but I just love how healthy Taurus energy and its purity is about work and is about boundaries. I think we all have a lot to learn from them because they are very hard workers, but they're very, very intentional about where it is that they put their energy, and they understand that life is meant to be enjoyed. You need to also rest and enjoy your life and enjoy your senses as you build what it is that you want. And so on Friday, it just feels like such a lovely day around working really hard during the day, and then that evening just being able to relax. And let me know what your like ideal Friday night is, because again, we have an exalted Taurus moon, Venusian moon on Friday, Venus day. So what's your ideal Friday night? Like, is your ideal Friday night like going out and partying? Is your ideal Friday night like curling up with takeout and a glass of wine? Is your ideal Friday night going to like a moon party? Like, what is your ideal scenario that is just so lovely? Like, Taurus moon is asking us for us to feed the senses, observe the magic around us, work hard on something, and then honor our body's cues when it's like, hey, I actually need a walk, to take a little break from this. Hey, I actually need to go call a friend, or hey, I actually need a nap. I've told a story before, but I've stayed with my Taurus rising friend. She lives in New York. And this girl was taking naps every single day. Every single day, this girl took a nap. I was in awe. I was inspired. I was like, I didn't even know people could do that. But she's like, I work better if I take a nap. Like, again, there is this unapologetic vibe about this week around, it is what it is. That's how I am. This is what I need. I need to sleep. I need to eat. I'm gonna enjoy my life. I love this week. So on Saturday, there can be a clash between the head and the heart, with the Taurus moon squaring off with Mercury in Aquarius. Your heart tells you one thing, logic tells you one thing. This would be more comfortable, but this is pushing you towards the future. There could just be a clash around what it is that you feel and how it is that you want to put words towards it. However, things take a turn for the mystical and for the spiritual with the Taurus moon sextile Neptune and Pisces that evening. Taurus moon sextile Neptune would be great to listen to an album, eat something delicious, fuel your senses, take a bath, go to the spa, get a massage, have your partner give you a massage. This is sensual, lovely energy to pull in higher level inspiration, higher level art, right? Whether that's music, movies, poetry, consuming or creating. A really lovely time to anchor into your body. On Saturday, February 25th, is my birthday. And if you follow me, you know I'm so big on birthdays. Like, I'm so big on people in my life's birthdays. I even celebrate half birthday. I'm huge on birthdays because I'm an astrologer. We work with birthdays. We're birthday people. And it's been so strange, my response to my birthday this year. Saturday is my birthday. And typically it's like my plans dialed in ahead of time. The girlies know what we are doing. Everything's on lock. I have separate celebrations planned with all of my different friend groups and important people within my life. I've got it dialed in. I love any excuse to celebrate. And this year I've just been avoiding it. I've been dragging my feet. I don't know if it's part of getting older. I don't know if it's because my transits are a mess, and I can see very clearly this year that my life is going to change in a lot of ways. And I think it's really uncomfortable being an astrologer and seeing that you're moving into a very uncomfortable time. Like, I think it's uncomfortable for anybody, but just fascinating for me as an astrologer, just seeing these transits like crawl up and be like, okay, this is a year that my life is going to change. It doesn't look like in great ways. I won't lie, not in great ways. So maybe that's why I've been resisting this birthday a bit. But yeah, at the time of filming this, I truly have nothing planned. People keep asking, they're like, are you okay? What's going on? And I just am feeling a lot of resistance around it. I don't know why. The day will come regardless, whether I choose to celebrate it or not. But I do want to say that I am so grateful for every single person who's here, who watches my videos. I am so grateful. Like, this is truly such a blessing, like being able to have this space and have this YouTube channel. And I always just want to thank you all around my birthday, just because it makes me sappy. Editing me here, I just want to pop in and say that right after this, I hopped on a consultation with Alexis, whom I adore if you're listening, and she's a fellow Pisces. So we're talking about our birthdays, and she gave me such a great pep talk. And she was like, Haley, you just need to take this into your hands. You don't need to wait on anybody to celebrate you or anyone to plan anything. You just need to take this into your own hands, like South Node, first house, Taurus moon wisdom. And I was like, Alexis, you're so right. So I made plans, and I just wanted to pop in just because I hope it wasn't coming off as me being like, tiniest violin. There's so much happening within the world. It's not that big of a deal if I don't have birthday plans one year. But I think I was just getting concerned just because it's always worrisome when there's things that you used to care about a lot and then you don't care about it any longer. And so, but again, I'm having grace with myself this year. I'm allowing myself to change. I'm allowing my life to change. And I also just want to share, the last time I had transits like this was before I started my business. So I just am very curious around how the two are going to coincide, because it's typically a space where I'm, of service towards others. And I'm not certain what I'll be able to do and what I'll have the capacity to do and how things will shift. Again, we don't know. I just feel like I'm walking into this big chapter this year where it's just like a question mark. I could see it astrologically what's playing out, but I'm like, I don't know what I'll be able to give. So I just want to pop in and say, having some grace with me if, my upload schedule does change a bit. It's obviously my intention to keep things as they are, but the cosmos are a constant reminder that things are fluctuating and changing all around us at all times. And I also just want to say, transits are never anything to fear. I say in this like, oh, looks like bad changes. Like, I don't believe to a cosmic soul level that changes can truly be bad. I think they could be uncomfortable. I think they could be unpleasant in the metamorphosis, in the cocoon, right? But at the end of the day, I do believe that I'll be in a better space at the other end of it. And if you're going through hard transits too, you will as well. Okay, this is our cocoon era. I'm so sorry, it's like 2 a.m., but just want to pop in with that message. On Sunday, the 26th, the moon squares off with Saturn in the morning, so can be feeling a little groggy, a little annoyed. Maybe you got like a unpleasant wake-up call, like the neighbor next to you got a rooster and you're like, that gosh darn rooster woke me up, or your kids woke you up when you just wanted to sleep in, or something of the nature, because the Taurus moon is really like cozy and comfy. With the square to Saturn, it's like having to deal with our responsibilities or our life stuff. So maybe you just have something on Sunday, or your Sunday scaries are starting to creep in a little early. Remember your power, as the Taurus moon does trine Pluto in Capricorn. It then goes void, and then the moon enters Gemini at 7:48. Supported for communication, learning something new, writing. Again, we have this waxing moon week, my love. So take this forward momentum and make something happen. Put some energy towards your side hustle, towards your passion project, towards your art, towards your comedy, whatever it is. Understand that the cosmos are on your side with this forward momentum. Are there some angsty, annoyed, frustrated energies this week? Yes. Are there a lot of emotions? It's Pisces season. Yes. You just saw me get all emotional about my birthday, which is so silly. Yes, there are. But is it a powerful week if we can stay focused on the who it is that we are, the what it is that we want, right? The dreams that we want to fulfill, and be fearless and dedicated, devoted to staying true to ourselves within the process. Because this world will tell you to be so many different sorts of people. So many people want you to be a mouthpiece for what it is that they believe in or what have you. And at the end of the day, this is your life to live. These are your dreams to fulfill. So that can be something that's very empowering, or that could be something that's very scary, but choose to make it empowering this week. My loves, the Magic Monday mantra of the week is I am fearless about the person that I am, the beliefs that I have, and the dreams I am here to fulfill. No one is going to advocate for you and for your dreams and for the person that you are like you will. And again, it's Pisces season, so that could be feeling overwhelming. Like sometimes with Pisces season, we just want to crawl in our bed, covers up, and be like, I don't want to fulfill my dreams today. I don't want to advocate for myself today. I can't possibly, but just understanding these dreams chose you for a reason. It is your responsibility to fulfill them, as well as to stay true to what is you and what is not you. The most dangerous thing of all is building a life and building other people's dreams without ever prioritizing your own. Will that make you all mad? Absolutely. In the vibe check, did that fashion brand want you to be the mouthpiece for their beliefs? And would it have been easier to go along with what they wanted you to be, right? The beliefs that they wanted you to have. Absolutely. There are so many things about following our own passion, our own vision that are deeply uncomfortable, that will make people mad. But again, tapping into this unapologetic Venus and Aries energy around, this is my life to live, and I am not going to spend all of it so worried about what other people have to think about me. Again, I'm just feeling it's really important to express to you one last time how important energetically clearing out is this week. Because again, maybe it's not picking up emotions from other people, but maybe it's like picking up other people's opinions. Like having a ritual as part of your day-to-day where you kind of like seal off and be like, other people's opinions have nothing to do with me. And firstly, I just want to say, people are not thinking about us as much as we think that they are, oftentimes, truly. And really just being able to create that separation and build that muscle around what other people think about me is none of my business. This is my life to live. These are my dreams to fulfill. And these are my beliefs to speak out on. So speak your truth, my loves, even if other people think you shouldn't say my love as you speak it. My Instagram handle is @HaleyComet Astrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love to connect with you over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic. Or magical. Usually I say magical, but today we'll say